What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Coach Blac, your internet, relationship, and breakup coach. Today's topic, flip the script on your ex so that they can feel the exact same feelings that you feel in this moment. Now, if you're watching this video and you're going through a breakup, you know exactly what it's like to lose someone that you love. You know what it's like to have that feeling of doubt and uncertainty about the future, because maybe a few weeks ago, a month ago, your life was supposed to be going in a certain direction and trajectory with this person, but instantly these promises for the future were taken away from you. It's almost like you're drowning and you can feel yourself struggling, right? As you try to take actions to fix the relationship. It's like you're paddling and you're doing everything to rise to the surface to get your head above water. But it's like the more you struggle, you're being pulled down into this sea of emotions. And obviously you can try to scream as much as you want to, but the sounds go unnoticed, right? You can't scream in water, no one's gonna hear. And it's really a representation of what a breakup can feel like, because in the moment you can feel very isolated because you built your life around a certain person and you lost them instantly. And maybe this person wasn't necessarily the best, or they didn't treat you the best, so when you try to talk to friends and family about it, they might be dismissive. And so you're having to process all of these feelings and emotions by yourself. It's hard to think straight. They told you certain things and promises that they never lived up to. And so now you're questioning the very fabric of the relationship that at one point, again, was meaningful to you. Now you don't even know if any of that was real. I'm going to tell you in this video, I'm going to teach you how to flip the script on your ex to get them to feel what you're feeling, the anxiety, the fear, the doubt. We want them to experience the loss just as much as you are. And a lot of times that will change the dynamic, the tone, and how they communicate with you, and most times the outcome of the breakup. So without further ado, let's just jump into it. Now, I want you to know this and never forget it. Every relationship that ever existed on this planet Earth has a frame to it, right? And what you should think about when you think about a frame is there's a certain guideline, there's a certain rules of operation, there are certain boundaries that exist in every relationship, and both parties have to agree to these rules or the relationship will never exist. So if we look at a simple example, the relationship between a boss and his employee, there's an agreement. Sometimes literally you sign a contract that the employee is going to do certain tasks or going to do a certain job, and the employer is going to pay them a certain amount every month or every hour or every year, okay? And so you go into that relationship with an agreement, and all that does, all the frame does, is that those rules and terms don't have to be communicated on a daily basis. Each party knows what their role is in that dynamic, and they know how to operate. Now, inside of those boundaries, there's also things and rules that are not explicit, meaning they're not necessarily verbalized, but they're implicit. There's an understanding, meaning the boss and the employee knows who's ahead, who's more powerful, who's making the decision. The boss, if it's a good boss, they don't have to come in every single day and say, you must do this. It's subtle. It's implied, but trust me, even though power dynamics are invisible, a lot of times they are still operating. Every relationship operates the same way. And even if you think about, if you go to a grocery store, again, there are some rules, there are certain frames that are unspoken, but it doesn't mean that they do not exist, and it doesn't mean that they're not understood. When you go into a grocery store, there's a reason why you don't just put stuff inside of a cart and walk out. You understand that as a customer, you get to buy these certain items conveniently. They're pre-packaged for you. They're, sorted out in certain ways. And you go up to the counter and there's going to be a customer service person there that's going to take care of things. But you're going to have to give them money in exchange for the items that you're getting. Again, there's always a frame. And so when you think about your relationship with your ex, there was a frame in that relationship, okay? Now, most times relationships start out on equal footing, right? Each party is respected. There's mutual effort. There's mutual love. There's, both people are giving to each other. But what happens over time is that the frame can be changed. And let me also tell you this about frames. This is what's interesting, is that no matter what the agreed frame was, right? Say two parties come together, they agree to a certain frame, explicitly or implicitly. What really dictates what happens is the actual actions that are taking place in that relationship. Meaning, for example, if you have a boss, they agree to pay you $20 an hour for you to do a certain task. And you start doing your task, but they're only paying you $10 an hour, but you never leave. Well, even though you have something signed and written, you have now started operating under a different frame. Okay, so frames can be altered and frames can be changed, and they are changed all the time. And it is your job, right, in a relationship to always make sure that you are only agreeing to the terms that you want or that you want to operate under. So what happens most times before a breakup is that the dynamic changes. Your ex starts to take you for granted a lot of times. And if you became needy and desperate and you started bending yourself into a pretzel just to win them over, you started forcing yourself upon them even though they were disrespecting you or not respecting your time and your effort. Essentially, the frame changed from whatever it was in the beginning. Because I'll get people that'll say, well, in the beginning, he was chasing me more, or she wanted me first. Whatever happened before you guys got together, the frame changed. And because you didn't walk away, it gets to a point where your ex truthfully believes, because of what you're accepting, that not only do they have the power in the relationship, they start to think, well, if you're agreeing to this frame, that means you are not my equal. And that means that I can do better. I can find someone who is more equal to me, who is more on my level. And that way, right, we can treat each other with respect and mutual support. So what happens is eventually your ex decides to leave the relationship, but the frame under which they left, they were the ones on top for sure. And so a lot of times, even after a relationship is over, you continue to operate in that frame. How so? Well, they've just told you they don't want anything to do with you. They're going to move on with their life, but you continue to pursue them. Who's at the bottom? They don't text you back. They don't return your calls, but you send them a letter. You pay their bills. You send them gifts. Who's at the bottom? Okay? So the only way to flip the script on your ex is to change the frame. You must operate under a new set of rules, right? A new set of parameters, a new set of boundaries. And a lot of times during a breakup, what happens is there's always a power struggle, a frame battle. Your ex wants to keep you at the bottom, ideally. They want to date around, they want to see if the grass is greener, but they still want to keep you here. And so you'll notice that anytime you stand up for yourself, anytime you do anything to move yourself up, your ex may get upset. They may blame you for things that happened in the past, all in an attempt to get you back into that subservient position, to get you to chase them, to beg them, seek their validation. But the only way, if your goal is to fix things, that you will ever be able to return to a healthy relationship is that your ex must perceive you as an equal, and ideally, they need to perceive you as the catch. That's what needs to happen. So for the frame to change, you must never call or text or chase after someone who dumped you. You must never beg, plead, or try to force things with someone who is telling you that they do not want you. Nothing is more disrespectful than that. Nothing is more low value than them demeaning you and you continuing to chase them. That reinforces the terrible frame which caused them to leave in the first place. See, one thing you want to know, that you need to know about human nature at the end of the day, no matter what your ex says, your ex still wants to be with the best person that they can get. It's human nature. We want the most attractive person. We want the most successful, the most driven, the most desired by other people. Because a lot of times by proxy, if you can date the most attractive person, well, it says a lot about you. All right. For example, if I could date, whatever celebrity you could think of, Rihanna, whoever. Well, the first thing, it'll make people pause like, who is this Coach Blac guy that Rihanna is given a chance? So again, ideally, what your ex really wants is they want to catch. So if you are chasing and begging and pleading and doing whatever it is that they say, even if they accept it subconsciously, they will resent you. It is disrespectful to yourself. You are a catch. And in this dynamic, you need to be the prize, even if you're only doing no contact just to get them back. Now, you should be doing this for yourself, truthfully. But even if your goal is just your ex, you want them back so much, well, from their perspective, they will only want you if they think or they perceive you as a catch for them. That's human nature. They're not going to come back because you want them back. They're not going to come back because you're desperate. If you currently have people in your DM right now that are texting you and telling you how they want to take you on a date or how much they like you, and maybe they swipe up on your stories, at the end of the day, you're not going to give them a chance if you don't actually want them. And you're probably still focused on your ex who is doing none of those things. Not calling, not texting, not chasing you. Meanwhile, there's someone in your DM that will do anything to be with you. And I'm not saying that you're wrong for this. I'm just trying to get you to understand. What motivates someone to come back is their own internal desire. If they think that they are getting the better end of the deal. So to flip the script on your ex, not only must you go no contact, whenever there's that frame battle, whenever your ex is trying to force or manipulate you, because a lot of exes do try this, you must be immovable. They must be doing most of the work to move the relationship forward, or you are willing to walk away forever, because it's the only way you'll fix things. If they are working for it, if they are chasing you and they're pursuing you, they would feel like they are the ones getting the prize. And this is why you don't react to their angry texts. You don't chase them just because they try to post subliminal things to get your attention. If you're the high value person, they must be direct in their communication with you. They must pursue you. And that's the only way to fix things. Anyway, if you have any thoughts, comments, questions, drop them down in the comment section below. I really do appreciate it. If you want to talk to me about your situation, click the first link in the description and you can book a coaching call and we'll talk about it. Lastly, I want to say thank you for watching. I know you're going through a lot, trust me. I've been through multiple breakups myself, and that is how I came to the position of doing what I am doing currently. So I know how it feels. So even taking the time out to watch the video, you literally could have been doing anything, but you chose to spend a few minutes with me, and I do appreciate it. If you like the video, please do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the future videos that I put out. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.